when I was about 22, 23, I met Douglas Byng. I was a student in Brighton and I was researching a show and I was finding out about concert party and performances and variety entertainment. And Dougie was in his 90s at that stage. And he was a remarkable person, and I have many stories myself about what it was like to meet him. And he died just a few years later, sadly. But I was inspired enough by meeting him and also reading his autobiography to write a radio series for Radio 4, which Julian Clary did for me and was very successful. And after I'd done that, I found out about another performer who was very different, a drag performer, called Mrs. Shufflewick. And it so happened that I discovered that Mrs. Shufflewick and Dougie Byng shared the same manager. Yeah, so their same manager, Patrick Newley, had both these two different characters, one of whom was Douglas Byng, this elegant, urbane, suave individual from the 1920s, and one was Mrs. Shufflewick, who was a sozzled working class, the woman next door, over the garden wall, as it were. They met, and they actually got on. I found out recently that they became friends. And they used to go drinking in the CAA, which is actually my club in London now, and where we actually did some of the auditions for this show. And they also went to Brighton and drank in some of the places that I used to when I was a student. So I became interested in this relationship between two people who cross-dressed with very different manifestations of masculinity and femininity and the ways they represented and how that might fit within today's conversations about gender and fluidity. Because my kids, they all became fascinated with RuPaul's Drag Race. And they thought that that's where drag started. And I said, no, there is something more than that. And I wondered if it was possible to create a show that might bring together the history with the present debate, to give people an idea of how and what we might build for the future. So that's the root of Shuff Byng.